Let's get ready to go behind those glossy sales brochures that you find at the model homes. After all, there are things that the builders will not tell you. So in today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into the things that buyers need to know when purchasing new construction. Let's get after it right now. Welcome to the Living in Utah channel. I'm Mike Gallagher, a local real estate agent. And if this is your first time to my channel, you may consider tapping that subscribe button down below and hitting that bell notification. YouTube will send you an alert every time I release a new video. And apart from making videos, I also help people buy or sell real estate in the local area. So if I can be of any assistance, I'll put my contact information on the screen. It'll also be down in the show notes. Now remember, builders and developers have one goal in mind, and that's to get you under contract. So the first thing on my list, you need to know what the builder's exposure is. You need to know all the inventory that the builder has. Now, it's a little tricky because a lot of times they will not put their inventory, all of it, on the MLS or on the internet. Sometimes they just don't want to tell you what lots are available. They want to create that fear of a housing shortage. We only have 2 lots left. You better take one now. Or we only have 2 homes left. If there's the slightest hint that there's only a few homes available, it brings in FOMO, the fear of missing out. Yeah, I've got to have that home right now. And sometimes, because of that, you may pay a higher price. All along, there might be some lots just down the road that will be released over the next couple months. Coming in number 2 on my list, the price. Well, not necessarily the price of what they want for that particular house, but the price for the whole development. What have homes sold for? Now I know it's hard to compare. Sometimes some of them homes may have been sold a year ago, so the price will be a little bit different. But what about the homes that just sold a month ago, maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago? It would be very handy to make sure you're in line with that price. Now, sometimes the data is a little bit hard to find, but if you dig deep, it can be accomplished. And coming in at number 3 on my list, we need to know the other builders in the neighborhood. Sometimes you'll see a big development, but maybe that one builder does not own all of the lots in that development. There might be multiple builders. Be real handy to know exactly who is building in that particular development. Also, what is being built in a 3 to 5 mile radius around that area? Very important data so you can price shop, compare builder versus builder. And coming in number 4 on my list, the future growth. What is coming to the area? Are there other builders that plan on building homes in that particular city or that particular county? Also, what is planned for the future? Highways, new roads. Well, Utah is growing, so we need some more infrastructure. Very handy to know where those roads will be located. Also, commercial development. Maybe you're not a big fan of having the brand new Amazon facility in your backyard going 24 hours a day. So what is coming to the area, I think, is very important. Coming in number 5 on my list, sales consultants. Many times the builders will hire sales consultants. And in some cases, they are not licensed real estate agents in the state of Utah. So they can basically tell you anything, promise you the world. There's no recourse. Well, very little recourse. They are not bound by any kind of code of ethics. Their license cannot be suspended because they don't have a license. Where a real estate agent has to be licensed with the state, and if the state needs to take corrective action, they can remove that license. But on a sales consultant, many times I would imagine that if you did complain about somebody, I would imagine division would say, well, we don't handle it. They're not a licensed real estate agent, so you would have to hire a local attorney and take the matter to the court system. Coming in at number 6 on my list, many builders will tell you you don't need an agent for new construction. I hear this all the time, and I just think it's sad. Who is looking out for your best interest? That's always my question. After all, what can go wrong? Well, let me tell you some of the things that I've seen go wrong in new construction. Number one, what I call predatory contracts. First of all, if you buy an existing home, there is a form that we are required to use. It's called a real estate purchase contract. That has been developed by the state of Utah. It's always being changed throughout the years when they feel something needs changed. And we have to abide by that particular contract. There is even a provision in that contract, a due diligence period. Whatever you negotiate with the seller, between the buyer and the seller, can be 5 days, 10 days, 14 days, 21 days, whatever you agree to. During that time period, you can pull out of the contract with no questions asked. None. Zippo. It does not require the seller's signature. That's it. We just have to send it over to them and say we're no longer interested in the home. Now, when you build new construction, most builders don't use that particular contract. They design their own contracts. They get with local attorneys, and typically those contracts favor one person, the seller. The seller. There are many different clauses in their particular contract that I'm not a big fan of. I've seen many of their contracts. A lot of things I'm not a big fan of. It's totally for the seller, including I could go on for an hour on this subject, but one of the things that does appear in some of these contracts is what I call basically like a shut-up clause. It has another word. There is another word for it. But basically, if you are not happy with any service that you receive from the builder, you cannot go on to like social media and write a review and complain. They will bring that contract back to you and say, no, right here, line such and such, such. You will not say any kind of negative remarks about our company. I actually know homes that have fallen off the mountainside, literally fallen off the mountainside. And I know the builder. And when you look on their reviews, a lot of times you do not see any kind of comments about the work that they do, because it's written in their clause that you cannot say negative things about the builder. And there's many things in these predatory contracts. And the second thing I see sometimes is these price reduction schemes. Well, what you don't realize is they bump the price higher before they lowered the price for you. Terrible practice. Number three, overcharging for a home because you had no one negotiate on your behalf. Sometimes you will pay a higher price. Number four, appraisal shortages. Sometimes it comes in a little shorter. You might have to get a little bit of money out of your pocket because in your contract, possibly, it states that they do not have to sell the home for what it appraises for. Now, back to the original contract I mentioned, the Utah State Real Estate Purchase Contract. There is a section in there that you can check the box that if the home does not appraise for what you have agreed to pay for the home, then you can pull out of the contract or renegotiate. Let's say, for instance, you offered $850,000. The appraisal come back at $840,000. We can actually go back to the seller and say, look, it only appraises for $840,000. We're willing to buy it for $840,000 and see if we can come up with an agreement. If there's no agreement that we can come to on the difference in the price, you actually can pull out of the contract. Now, with a new build, sometimes, that can be a little tough. Number five, overcharging for the loan. Yes, a lot of times they have their own lending companies in-house, but some of the fees can be a little bit on the pricey side. And number six, this one really irks me sometimes, failing to meet deadlines. Sometimes there's no penalty in there. They may say we're going to be done December 25th, January the 1st, but there's no consequences if they're not done in their particular contract. That's just some of the reasons that I can think of why you possibly might want to consider hiring an agent to represent you with the purchase of a new construction. And I thought of one more thing. I'm going to label this one emotions. A lot of times you walk into these model homes and they are absolutely beautiful. New furniture, new decorations throughout the home. Very beautiful. Of course, the inside of the home is all brand new. All new paint, new cabinets. And sometimes you want to just fall in love instantly and just buy that home. Personally, I have a little bit of a rule. I tell people to take a deep breath, give it 24 hours, and see if you still have that same opinion about that home 24 hours later. So in conclusion, that's some of my recommendations if you are looking at purchasing new construction. If you have any kind of questions, by all means, reach out to me. Glad to answer anything that I can. Love to know in the comments down below your opinions on new construction. Till the next video, take care and stay safe.